What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome to another Q&A from me. And I know I haven't done one of these for a long time, so I'm just going to quickly explain how this works for those of you who are new to this series. And it's actually really straightforward. If you have a question you want me to answer, just leave it in the comment section of this video, and then I will try and answer that in the next Q&A video. If you ask me a question via like a private message or on another video, it may not get answered, so make sure it's in the comment section of this video. The questions can be about gaming or my opinion on something or even something about my personal life, just not too personal, not too crazy, and I will answer as many as I possibly can. Some of them I have already answered in previous episodes, so if I have answered them before, I will likely not answer them again. And other questions, maybe it's just something I don't really want to talk about or something along those lines, so if I don't answer your question, then just try a different one next time, because I'm not going to answer every single one of them. One more thing with this is I probably won't have my next Q&A video up for another 2 months or so, and this is just because Ghost is coming out right away, and I want all of my videos for the next 2 months or month and a half or so to be Ghost tipped videos, and I'll probably mix the odd live commentary in there, but I don't think I'm going to be mixing in a Q&A just because I want to focus solely on those tip videos, because that's really what most of you guys are subscribed here for. So just keep that in mind when you're asking the questions. Make sure your questions will be relevant in 2 months. So don't ask me like, am I excited for Ghosts? Because by the time I actually answer it, Ghost will be out for 2 months or something. So maybe even now you could preemptively ask a question like, what are your thoughts on Ghost right now or something? Although I probably will have a video just talking about that at some point. But just something along those lines. Just keep that in mind. I won't be answering these questions for probably another 2 months or so. Alright, so let's just get right into the questions now. So the first question is, what do you think about the Hunter-Killer drone in Black Ops 2? So I'm actually going to be covering this, or just touching on it a little bit, in my final rating for Black Ops 2, which is actually already recorded and done. I just want to release it a little bit closer to the end of Black Ops 2, so you guys don't think that I'm completely done with my Black Ops 2 videos, because I do have a few Black Ops 2 videos before Ghosts comes out. So, what do I think of the Hunter-Killer? I think it could use a little tweaking, in my opinion. I don't have a huge problem with it, but it is a little bit frustrating to die to it, because it is such a low streak, and it's often completely unavoidable. Like, you just die, and yeah, you can sometimes dodge it, but most of the time you can't, and if you're caught outside in the open when it's thrown, which you have no warning for, then a lot of times you just die, and basically too bad for you, you're dead. And I feel like if it had like a 3-second delay where after it's thrown it takes 3 seconds before it'll actually start targeting somebody, I think that would be much more fair. Because then you get to see that it's thrown in the air and you have time to react to that. You can go, okay, I'm going to go indoors, or I'm going to use this piece of cover to try and block my line of sight to that. And I think that would be much more fair, just because it's such a low streak, and I don't know, I think it shouldn't be an instant free kill. I think the enemy should have a little bit of a chance to react to that. Okay, so the next question is, would you play zombies soon? And unfortunately, no, I will not. And this is just because zombies is something that I never really got into, and I don't really enjoy playing very much. And I know it is a great game mode, and I love that it's in the game, but it's just not for me. I don't like it. And I don't think I could make a very entertaining zombies video, so sorry, but you're not going to be seeing zombies from me anytime soon. The next question is from Garrett Butler, and it's, what is your favorite thing or things about living in Canada? And there are just too many that I can think of right now, but I'll try and just list a few off the top of my head. The one big thing is I like the diverse seasons. So we have fairly hot summers, around 30 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is for you Americans, but you can figure that out for yourself in Fahrenheit. And that's another thing I like about Canada, is our measurements, or our units, actually make sense, and they're not some arbitrary numbers like the Americans seem to have. But I'm just messing with you guys, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so we have our really hot summers, or for me it's really hot anyways, and then in the winters we have lots of snow, and there's lots of winter activities you can do, snowboarding, snowmobiling, all that kind of stuff. I know some of you are probably laughing at me because it's some Canadian stereotypes or something along those lines, but yeah, whatever. We do not live in igloos or anything along those lines. But I really like how you have such different seasons, and it allows for a ton of activities, and it always keeps things exciting and fresh because there's always that change of season. Another thing that I can think of off the top of my head is the people in general. There are, of course, exceptions, but in general, the people in Canada, at least the ones that I run into on a daily basis, they're all very pleasant, and I've traveled the world quite a bit. I think I've been around 30 or 40 countries around the world, and I'm not saying that I didn't like those people around the world, but overall, it just doesn't compare to what you experience in Canada, in my opinion, or what I experience in Canada. So, yeah, Canada's my home. I think it'll always be my home. Maybe I'd like to live abroad for like a year or something just for the experience, but Canada is ultimately where I want to end up, and I absolutely love it here. Moving on, how old are you and do you live alone? So I'm actually 23 years old, and I still live with my parents, but before you guys start saying, oh, what a nerd and everything, we actually live in a rural area, so it's much different for us. We live on a ranch, and I basically am living here helping my parents out because they are kind of getting old, and there's a lot of work to be done around here, and it's something that I'll probably end up inheriting, so it works a lot different than if somebody were living in the city or something like that. So yeah, I am living at home, like living with my parents, and I basically have half the house to myself, so it's as if I have my own apartment, like separate apartment. So I do have that independence in a way, but yeah, I do still live at home. Alright, so this next person has 3 questions, so I'll just answer them one at a time. So the first one is, would you consider doing some Minecraft vids and making a second channel for Minecraft and other games? I have posted a little bit of Minecraft on my channel. I think there's probably 2 or 3 Minecraft videos that are on my channel right now. And if you want to see those, you can go back and watch them. They weren't very well received, but that's completely expected. I completely anticipated that happening because this is a Call of Duty channel, and I have based it around Call of Duty completely. The big reason why I'm not going to be posting more Minecraft, or not much more, you might get the odd video here or there, is because of my monthly bandwidth restrictions. I already use up 100% of my monthly bandwidth every month by uploading a video once every 2 days. And I'm not willing to take my focus away from Call of Duty and sacrifice that for Minecraft or something, so I am not going to be able to make a second channel or anything at the moment. I wish I could, I would love to, but I just can't because of that bandwidth restriction. Alright, so second question, do you watch Skydoes Minecraft and his crew? No, not at all. I don't really watch Minecraft videos too often. I watch a little bit of like Syndicate videos just because they're really funny and entertaining. But I don't want to spend too much time just watching Minecraft videos, to be honest. And also, do you watch Ali A? I have seen, of course, a few of his videos. They often pop up on the sidebar of YouTube or in the recommended videos for me. And yeah, I'll watch them if it's something that I'm interested in, but it rarely is. And to be completely honest, I really don't mean this personally or anything to him. I'm not trying to bash him or take a jab at him in any way, but I can't handle his accent. It literally gives me a headache if I watch like 20 minutes of his videos at a time. And once again, this is not a jab at all. It literally just gives me a headache to listen to him. Okay, so moving on. What is your favorite zombies map and multiplayer map? As for zombies, I really couldn't tell you which is my least favorite. I have very little experience on all of the maps, and some maps I haven't even played yet. Like Origins, I never played once, even though I have the DLC. I just have no interest in it, so I couldn't tell you what my least favorite map is for that. As for multiplayer, I assume this is just for Black Ops 2. I actually thought about this a little bit just now, and there's no map in Black Ops 2 that really makes me upset when I end up playing it. There's no map that I think, like, damn, this is my least favorite map. But if I had to say, I would say probably just Nuketown 2025, and that's just simply because it gets voted almost every time you have the option to vote for it, and it gets a little repetitive, so I honestly don't think I would miss playing Nuketown 2025 if I never played another game of it in my life. Next up, if you were given the ability to nerf or buff all of the Black Ops 2 weapons, what would you do? And I assume you will nerf the snipers right off the bat. And you're correct, I actually would nerf the snipers off the bat. But I just wanted to say that, once again, this will be covered in my final review for Black Ops 2, so I'm not going to get too far into it in this. But I'll just talk about what I would do to the snipers since you mentioned that. Basically, I would add just a little tiny bit of time to aim down sight with the sniper rifles. Like, I'm talking 0.15 seconds or something like that. Just a little bit to sort of even the odds up just a bit there. If you guys saw my quickscoping video, I did the math. If an SMG user reacts at the exact same time that a quickscoper reacts and doesn't fire until he aims down sight, which is realistic, the sniper rifle actually kills before the SMG user. So I would have just a little bit of time added there so that the SMG user will win that gunfight, because really, the SMG user should win that gunfight in my mind. Another thing that I would do is I would maybe add a little bit of a sway for that initial aim down sight time, like I think they did in Black Ops 1, where you could still land a shot, but you had to actually find the target in your scope before you took your shot, rather than left trigger, right trigger, and as long as he's centered in your screen, he's dead. I think there needs to be that time where you actually look through your scope, find your target, and take the shot. That's why I don't have a problem with a drag scope or something like that. It's the quick scopes where you literally just center him in your screen, and as soon as your scope appears, you just fire the shot. You don't even need to see that the target is in your scope. You're just firing that shot as soon as the scope appears, and I see that as just a little bit too easy and a little bit unfair. I think it should be a little bit more difficult to snipe, and if it were more difficult, then it would be even more rewarding, which I think is a good thing for snipers. I think that would make the elite snipers truly elite, because not any kid could just quickscope. It would actually be somebody who really has to put a lot of time and effort into becoming good at that. So that's just my thoughts on that. I rambled on a little bit there, but yeah, if you want to see the rest of my nerfs and buffs, then make sure you pay attention to my channel and you watch that final rating for Black Ops 2. Alright, so next question, do you think you'll ever quit? And I assume this means YouTube, and as of right now, I really don't see myself quitting anytime in the near future. That's not to say that 4 or 5 years down the road, I might just be completely sick of it and not want to do it anymore. But for right now, I'm absolutely loving doing YouTube, even as just a hobby. I don't care that I'm not making a ton of money off of it. I really do it for the enjoyment. And another thing to mention with this is, who knows what the YouTube gaming scene is going to be like a few years from now. It's always going to be constantly changing and evolving. It may become better, it may become worse, it may completely disappear if there's some massive problem between the publishers and YouTube or something like that. Who knows? And we'll just have to wait and see. I'm just along for the ride. So next up, if you were able to choose a superpower, then what would it be? And this is actually a really tough one for me because I'm more of a realist. I always like to think in real terms, and I rarely let my imagination go. So it really took a lot of thought for me here. And I think teleportation would be a pretty cool superpower because you could be so much more efficient with things. You'd never have to travel again. You can just instantly travel wherever you want to go. And I think that would be pretty cool. And for the second question, what sports do you play? I play paintball right now. Not really competitively anymore. I used to play competitive paintball, but not so much anymore. And I play hockey sometimes as well. Of course, I'm Canadian, so I must play hockey, right? And what else? That's basically it. Like, yeah, I'll play around with any other sports. I'll play football every once in a while, but just playing with friends outside or something. And yeah, I don't really play any organized sports anymore, and I'm totally fine with that. I don't really miss it. I'm still quite an active person, but I don't play organized sports. Alright, so next up we have a question that I was considering not answering because it can raise some issues and things like that, but I decided I'll answer it anyway to the best of my ability. And that is, do you have any sort of religious or universe origin beliefs? And I like to hear where other people stand on the matter. So I don't practice any sort of structured religion or belief system or anything like that. I'm not necessarily an atheist, but I also wouldn't label myself as a Christian or a Catholic or Buddhist or anything along those lines. I live my life by my own moral code. I treat others how I want to be treated, and I do my best to be a good person. If there is a God, I don't feel as if it's my duty in life to worship that God. And if there isn't, then why spend the time worrying about it? I just live my life to the fullest. Okay, moving on to a less deep question. Do you watch PewDiePie? And if you do you think he's funny? I have seen a few of his videos, and to be honest, it's just not for me. It's not my kind of humor, so... not saying the videos are bad or anything, it's just not for me. Moving on to the next question, what games do you plan on getting for the next gen consoles? To be honest, I haven't really planned it out too much. Obviously, I'll be getting the new Call of Duty, I'll be getting Titanfall, and probably like Watch Dogs or something like that. And other than that, I'll probably just end up buying whatever I feel like buying at the time. I'm not going to make a huge plan and plan out every single game that I'm going to get because I am mainly a Call of Duty player, so any other game that I get I typically won't put a ton of time into, and that's just because I prefer playing Call of Duty. Next up, what was your first console and what was the first game you played on it? And I actually remember it like it's yesterday. When I was 4 years old, I got a PlayStation 1, and the first game I ever played on it was Crash Bandicoot, the original. And ever since then, I've absolutely loved the Crash Bandicoot series, and I really hope it makes a return in PS4 or something like that. I would love to see like a brand new Crash Bandicoot game. So next question, what is your tryhard class? And to be honest, for right now, I really don't have a tryhard class anymore in Black Ops 2. I found that it doesn't really matter what gun I'm using or anything like that. As long as I'm using toughness and dexterity, I do as well as I would do with basically any gun and any setup in most games. It's more about that map knowledge, spawn knowledge, and basically just getting on target and getting your shots off. So yeah, right now I don't really have a tryhard class. Moving on, what do you think of tac inserts? I don't mind them as long as they aren't using a sniper or shotgun. The sniper tac insert craze is annoying, and I definitely agree with that. So overall, my views, I could probably do an entire commentary on this, but I'll just keep this answer short and sweet because I may actually end up doing a commentary on this in the future. I do not agree with tac inserts in the game, no matter what gun the enemy is using. It seems like the only time I lose a game is when I have a team full of guys tac inserting, or even just 1 or 2 guys tac inserting. It's very hard to counter. I know EMP grenades and stuff counter it, but it's the one thing that really gets on my nerves because I feel like when I kill someone, they should have to spawn wherever their team's spawning. And that's just my opinion. Obviously, a bunch of you will disagree with that. But yeah, that's all I'm going to get into for this question in this Q&A. Next question, what speed of internet up and down do you usually play with? My download speed is about 2 megabits per second, my upload speed is about 0.75 megabits per second, and my ping hovers usually around 40 to 50 milliseconds. But the problem with my internet is that it's actually wireless internet, so I have to get it through a radio tower because I don't actually have cable wired into my house because I live in the middle of nowhere. And so my internet can be very inconsistent, and that's the problem with it. But there you go, there's my speeds. I'll post up a little picture of my speed test on the screen so you can see what I play with. Okay, so I'm going to have to speed this up a little bit. I really want to keep this video under 20 minutes, and I'm sorry if I missed some of your guys' questions from this Q&A from the comment sections. If I did miss your question, then make sure you answer it in this one, and I'll try and get it, especially if I recognize that I skipped over it in this last Q&A. So the next question is, hey Ace, do you have any recommendations for headsets, and which ones do you have? I have Triton AX Pros. It's all I've ever used for a gaming headset, and I absolutely love them. I have no complaints at all. They have great sound quality, and I would definitely recommend those. Another thing you might want to look into is Astros. I hear they're amazing, and it's probably what I'll end up trying out next. Moving on, hey Ace, do you have any ideas for playing with fans or updates on gun patches? Because I really loved your gun stats. No, I'm not going to do any gun patches for Black Ops 2, obviously, because there's barely any time left in the life cycle, but my first videos for Call of Duty Ghosts will be my gun stats videos, so you can look forward to that. As for playing with fans, if you follow me on Twitter, I will be posting on Twitter whenever I'm jumping online for Black Ops 2, and if you guys want to play with me, then just feel free to send me an invite, or send me a message at that time, and I will invite you. So make sure you follow me on Twitter. I'm sorry, but that's the only way that I can possibly think of to play with you guys. Next up, what inspired you to make Call of Duty videos? I had been watching Call of Duty videos for years, and I really enjoy playing Call of Duty. I've gained a lot of knowledge over the years in playing Call of Duty, and I just felt like I could do better than these other tips guys. And I'm not trying to bash them in any way, I just feel like they weren't quite covering what I wanted to see in a video. So I felt like I could do a little bit better than them and do some things a little bit differently than them, and that's basically what got me into it. Moving on, what sensitivity do you play on, and do you have a SCUF controller and or Control Freaks? I play on a 5 or 6 for Black Ops 2. I used to play on a much higher sensitivity, but I have recently sort of changed my playstyle and lowered it. And I do not have a SCUF. I wish I did, but it really wasn't worth the investment for me in the past year or so because it's a lot of money for something that you would only use for the year that's left in the Xbox 360. So I'll definitely get one as soon as they come out for the new consoles. And Control Freaks, I do use one on my right thumbstick, and I absolutely love it. It's hard to go back once you once you use it because it is so helpful. Alright, so this next question I want to address because I get a lot of this, and I just wanted to kind of address it for all of you guys. So, hey man, would you mind checking out my channel or giving me a shout out? And as for checking out a channel, I have no problem with that. Most of the time, if I have time, I will check out a channel, give you a little bit of feedback, and it can be very helpful to you guys. So feel free to ask me to check out your channel. I have no problem with that. Sorry if I don't have the time to do it, but usually I do. As for the shout out, that is a completely different story for me. What a lot of people don't seem to realize is a YouTube channel is a brand. As much as you like it or not, it is a brand. And when I say, go check this guy out, he makes really good videos and stuff, and it turns out he doesn't live up to the expectations of the people that I sent to him, that reflects badly on me and my brand. And I don't want that. And I'm not saying that your content isn't great and it wouldn't live up to the expectations, it's just I don't know you, and I also don't like giving handouts to people that ask for them, to be honest. And I'm not trying to put you down in any way or anything, it's just my personal thoughts on the whole shout out thing. If I happen to find your channel, if you ask me to check your channel out and I think, oh my god, this is amazing, this guy needs more recognition, I may give you a shout out. And that's my choice though, I'm not going to give one that is asked for. Alright, so I definitely went over the time limit already, but I have one more question I'm going to answer for you guys. Why do you like Black Ops 2 if there are so many cheap attachments like Target Finder, Select Fire, and other things in the game? I actually have no problem with any of these attachments. I never have a problem taking a guy out that's using a Target Finder. It's not something that is getting him kills automatically. He still has to aim and take his shot. It can be cheap if you're shooting through walls or something like that, and there's that little glitch where you can kind of see through walls with a Target Finder. But really, I don't have a problem with it. And Select Fire, again, absolutely no problem taking guys out that have Select Fire. If a guy has a Select Fire FAL and I have a semi-auto one, I can actually shoot faster than him, so I have no problem with that Select Fire. So I don't really know where you're coming from with this, but maybe you disagree with me, maybe you don't like the Target Finder and it completely ruins your game. That's your opinion, and I actually find Black Ops 2 to be one of the most balanced Call of Duty games. Alright, so that's going to wrap it up for this Q&A. If you guys have a question you want me to answer, then make sure you leave it in the comments below, and I will answer it in the next Q&A video if I can. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys next time.